You know that quiet moment before an exam. When you sit at your desk, look at your notes, and realize you don't actually know what you've been reading. You've spent hours studying, yet nothing sticks. You feel tired, guilty, and weirdly empty, like you've been busy but not productive. That's the scary truth about modern studying. We confuse activity with learning. We underline, we reread, we highlight in 5 colors. But deep down we know we're just decorating our procrastination.
And one day you wake up realizing you've spent years studying, but never learned how to study.
In this video, we'll slow down and look at what it really means to study correctly. Not memorizing random facts, not copying notes word for word, but learning in a way that your brain actually remembers, calmly, efficiently, and long-term. By the end, you'll understand 3 principles that can completely change how you learn, how to make your brain care about what you study, how to study actively instead of passively, and how to design your environment so studying no longer feels like punishment. Think back to the last time you tried to memorize a formula or date. You repeated it again and again, but the next day, it vanished. That's because memory isn't built on repetition. It's built on meaning. When you study something that feels emotionally empty, your brain has no reason to care. It treats it like background noise. So the first rule of correct studying is simple. Make it emotional. Ask yourself, why does this matter? How does this connect to something real in my life? What story does this concept tell? For example, if you're studying biology, don't just memorize, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Imagine it. Tiny factories working inside you every second, keeping you alive. When you connect curiosity to the content, your brain shifts from storage mode to learning mode. Because learning isn't about cramming, it's about caring. Most people mistake reading for learning. They'll read the same notes again and again, hoping something will stick. But real studying happens when you struggle to remember. That's called active recall, and it's the single most effective learning technique ever discovered. Instead of rereading, close your book and ask yourself, what did I just learn? Can I explain it in my own words without looking? If you can't, open the book, find the missing link, then close it again and repeat. This simple process builds retrieval strength, your brain's ability to find information when you need it. It's uncomfortable at first because it forces you to confront what you don't know, but that discomfort is the exact signal that learning is happening. When I started using this, I realized something strange. I was studying less, but remembering more, because I stopped reviewing information and started interacting with it. Have you ever crammed the night before an exam, only to forget everything a week later? That's not your fault. That's how short-term memory works. Our brains are like soil. You can't plant 10 seeds in one day and expect them to grow overnight. You have to space them out, water them, revisit them. That's how memory consolidates. This is called spaced repetition. The art of revisiting material at the moment you're just about to forget it. Apps like Anki or Notion flashcards use this principle, but you can also do it manually. Review a topic today, then again tomorrow, then 3 days later, then a week. Each time, you'll find it easier to recall, and eventually, it sticks. Spacing transforms study from chaos to rhythm. It's not about intensity anymore. It's about timing. Here's something most students never realize. You don't learn by consuming. You learn by creating. If you read 5 chapters but never write a single summary or teach a single concept, your brain forgets 80% of it. But when you explain what you've learned to a friend, to yourself, or even to an empty wall, your brain rewires the information as your own. I used to spend hours reading, thinking I was being productive. But the moment I tried to explain what I'd read, I realized how shallow my understanding was. So I made a rule for myself. For every hour I study, I spend at least 10 minutes outputting, summarizing, sketching, rewriting, or explaining. It's simple, but it completely rewires the purpose of study, from collecting notes to building understanding. Studying isn't just mental, it's deeply environmental. Your surroundings quietly shape your habits. If your desk is cluttered, your mind will be too. If your phone is beside you, your attention is already divided. You don't need a fancy aesthetic setup. You just need a space that tells your brain, this is where I focus. Light a small candle. Keep one pen, one notebook. Remove every distraction that doesn't serve your goal. Because when your environment is intentional, your mind naturally follows. Focus becomes effortless, not forced. Now, a warning, don't turn these methods into perfectionism. Some people treat study systems like rituals. If one thing isn't perfect, they panic. The goal isn't to follow rules. The goal is to understand why those rules exist, so you can bend them when you need to. If you miss a day, that's okay. If your schedule falls apart, it's fine. The key is to return calmly, without guilt. Because guilt kills consistency faster than laziness ever will. Let's recap the real, correct way to study. Make it emotional. Find meaning behind what you study. Connect it to your life. Practice active recall. Test yourself, not just read. Use spaced repetition. Review at increasing intervals, not all at once. Focus on output. Teach, summarize, explain. Make it yours. Respect your environment. Let your surroundings signal focus and calm. These aren't hacks. They're habits. Small, sustainable changes that transform how your brain learns. If you've been studying the wrong way for years, it's not too late to fix it. Your brain is incredibly adaptable. It's just been waiting for you to use it correctly. So today, don't promise to study more. Promise to study better. Start small. One topic, one method, one quiet session where you truly learn something new, and you'll feel it. That shift from memorizing to understanding. That's the moment when studying stops being a chore and starts feeling like growth. If you found this helpful, consider liking the video, subscribing, and sharing your experience in the comments. Tell me, which of these 5 rules do you want to start using first? Because the correct way to study is the one that finally works for you.